Hello, Cinema Peeps.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Oh my goodness. I keep saying I'm gonna get more sleep, and yet I don't think my body gets the memo. That's a lie. I'm usually pretty physically exhausted. My brain's like, nah, we reject this. We're gonna stay up a little bit longer. And I'm like, why? Please, why?
Well, and you've also been so used to a certain routine too, so for a while, right? So it's gonna be hard to adjust and get into a new routine.
Yeah.
I'm
always that person too where it's like, okay, it's time for bed, but then I want to prep things for the next day almost, kind of. Or for example, if I'm playing a video game, I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do next time, make a list, and then I'll start getting ready to go to bed, and then it's then it's like, okay, what else do I need to do, so just gotta hit the pillow, just go to sleep, and just go to sleep,
right?
But that'll never happen. Never.
You'll get there. I believe in you. You'll get there.
Oh, thanks, girl. Also, wow, Kendra's got a new setup today. Is that exciting?
We're trying something different on my end over here. No, I decided to try something new. Testing out some audio adjustments, and also in the process maneuvering my setup here. So we've kind of flipped the reverse.
Right? I'm not used to it. I'll say it right now. I'm already used to it.
Neither am I. Looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is really strange. So yeah, we'll see. I might flip back. I'd like to flip back to the view I had before, because I have all these really cool movie themed posters and things on my wall, and I really like displaying that. But unfortunately, just because my desk is on this side of the room, the arm that I am using, I cannot attach it to anywhere on that side of the room. So
bed frame.
My bed frame is very awkward, so we'll see. I'll figure something out. But yes, we're doing this off of my big computer, and as we speak, I'm just in the corner of my eye noticing the audio bar, the volume bar going up and spiking into the red. So I really hope for you, because you're gonna be editing this, I hope it's not gonna be really just crazy loud noise.
We'll find out. It'll be a treat for all. A treat for all.
So I apologize to future Caleigh for her ears. I hope it's not bad. Plus, it's dark over here, and I need a light. There's so much. So we're trying this out. This is just the beta
good.
version.
We'll
see.
Good. It's all
we'll
good.
see if it sticks. Yeah.
It's all good. It was funny. Speaking of our book club, so I had finished the book, but I actually gave it to my mom to read because I knew she would really like it, and boy was I right. She loved it.
Nice.
She'd come down, she'd be like, oh, that Joyce or that Elizabeth. She'd always just be and she's telling me all the parts, and I'm like, oh yeah. And she goes, oh, I'm at this part. I was like, oh, that's pretty sad. She goes, yeah, whew. And I was like, just you wait though, there's gonna be more twisties and turnies. And she's like, ooh.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've started to feel more motivated to read in the morning now.
Interesting.
So because I usually take a good I try to give myself a good 30 minutes or so to enjoy my breakfast and just kind of get my morning going. So while I'm eating, I'll read a couple chapters.
Oh, that's
I found that I've enjoyed that more than reading before bed. And I don't know if that's specifically for this book because I'm reading it off my phone. Just staring at my screen before I go to bed. Just I don't like that. I like to be able to do something that's not on my screen. So at least by doing it this way, having the time while I'm eating, reading instead of being on social media and stuff like that, I've actually kind of enjoyed it. So I've been able to get more motivated to read further. And so I just got to the part where, because you were saying how there's some sad parts, I just got to the part where Elizabeth is kind of explaining her situation with Stephen and how his he obviously suffering from dementia and being a senior, living in a senior's home and stuff like that. And it was just kind of oh, so sad.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you now, it's gonna get even sadder.
Oh God, no.
there's still lots of sadnessa to come, so just prep yourself.
All right.
But I mean, it's still good with some good comedy in there.
I'll just be crying over my breakfast.
Kendra, you okay?
It's so sad.
I just can't. That's interesting. But yeah, I wish I could do that, but most of the time I'm just
yeah,
I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie. I can barely. Really, what I need to do is go to a nice resort and just read on the beach.
Yes.
That's what
that sounds like a great idea.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm still 100 and actually I haven't checked in a couple days, but last I checked, I'm still 108th in line for the second book.
It's better than nothing.
Right, so I decided to read something else actually, or start my next book, which I'm gonna try.
I also signed up for a library card too, so.
You have a library card?
Yeah, I just signed up for one.
Hold up, you didn't have a library card before?
I did, but like a long time ago, so like it expired, so I got a new one, and yeah.
That's true. They've definitely changed. All right, this is called the boring corner. They've changed a lot about the library because there used to be like fees and stuff, but now I don't know if it's the same everywhere else. But they got rid of that feature. I don't know. It's got to been a couple years now, maybe a little more. It's still a recent change to me. But another cool thing is that if you have a book taken out, it was always like your responsibility to renew the book again, which then would always kind of throw off the dates. But instead, the library does it for you automatically. So when I had Thursday Murder Club, it was like, oh, we automatically try to renew your book, but unfortunately, because there was like 120 people waiting for my copy of the book, it could not be renewed.
That's cool.
But I still thought that was a very cool feature because I remember like, you'd have to find your way to the library, then it would throw off the timing. So I like all these new changes. So people who say
that's
like
awesome.
Public servant, blah blah blah, the libraries are important, bitch. You can also rent DVDs, bitch,
and games too, apparently.
Yeah, so crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I start reading Dexter in the Dark.
Yay!
And let me just show off my new book, the bookmarker I'm using for this book. I just thought, I don't know, I thought it was appropriate. But I'm not super far into it, but it's good. It's definitely going to be an interesting read. It's definitely very different from the other two books so far.
Oh, really? So this is the third book out of all of the series?
This is the third book. And this one focuses a lot on like the origins of the Dark Passenger.
Ooh.
So it's very weird.
Yeah.
It's because again, we've talked a lot on our Dexter podcast about it, how we've like interpreted it as like his like, oh my, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, even in the show, like, the Dark Passenger, like, in the books, it is definitely, like, its own entity. It is its own thing. Whereas the show, it wasn't really its own thing. It was just, like, this is...
his narration or his
like,
inner voice or whatever.
Yeah, and his persona kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's, like, every time, like, even the first couple books, and when you read it, the author describes it as, like, another person almost. Which is crazy. So
interesting.
We've now gone. There was the first chapter was like, I think, dialogue from the passenger from like prehistoric times, like the beginnings of Earth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And a couple times now this cut off to, I'm guessing, another character of like a similar of like the Dark Passenger, or maybe a stronger entity also talking. It's so weird.
Wow.
Like, I'm enjoying it, but it's definitely like so bizarre.
Yeah, that's honestly, it sounds interesting considering like obviously we know, like you said, like the connection to Dexter, and in fact it's like his its own entity, but you know it's part of the persona he takes on and everything. And yeah, that's interesting. That's cool. I wonder if that'll like add even more like depth and just insight into Dexter from what we know of him, right?
Right. Well, also another thing, I think I mentioned in the last podcast how they were grooming, where Dexter noticed that Cody might have his own Dark Passenger. And so in this book, especially these first couple pages, Rita's planning their wedding, and the kids are talking to Dexter a lot because in one of the beginning chapters, he goes out for his hunt, and the kids are like, are we going to come too? So it sounds like Astra might also be trained, because he might think that, she might have her own Dark Passenger as well. But yeah, so he was talking a lot about how he wants to train the kids, and like they're very already like intuitive of what he's doing already at night.
Interesting.
Well, I don't think they have an idea of what he's doing, but they know it's to help calm whatever issues that they are feeling. So it's a weird kinship already.
Interesting. So I can't remember if I asked you this last time, but is Harrison a character in the books?
No.
Okay. So but again, he was written for the show.
Maybe. Because again, this is only book 3. This is very early on. Like I said, this is them getting married.
Right. Okay.
So as I look over, there's how many more books do I have? 3. Yeah, I got 5 for Christmas, but one of them was Dearly Devoted Dexter, and that was the second book, which I've already read. But yeah, I have, like, again, like 4 other books, so he could be making an appearance, or maybe not a character, like a Harrison-like character, maybe he's not called Harrison, but maybe they do have a son eventually.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah, just hearing you talk, I'm wondering, like, was the inspiration for Harrison, at least for the New Blood series, was that taken from what you're reading about Cody and Aster having their own dark passenger? Was it like that? That's
maybe,
these are the questions that haunt my memory, you know? Like, right? It's like, if I could ask the writers anything, like, where did they get inspiration from? That'd be cool.
Well, I'll let you know as I keep going along.
Yeah.
On my book journey of reading. But yeah, so you've actually watched a bunch of Oscar movies this week, and I'm sad to report I didn't do very good this week. I thought at least I was gonna watch Don't Look Up maybe by myself, but never got around to it.
I mean, to be fair, I really only watched one Oscar movie this
more
week,
than me.
and I didn't even watch all of it.
Well, I thought you said you finished it.
Wait, which movie are you talking about?
CODA. Did you finish CODA?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought.
Yeah.
Again, I've been listening. I've been editing the podcast for next week, so I've already heard you talk about CODA. So in my mind, I'm like, we've talked about it already. Yes. So sorry. I have watched 2 then this week. 1.5 technically.
Okay.
So I have watched CODA, and then I watched House of Gucci, but I stopped about halfway through because I just lost interest in it. So.
Again, I heard that one had such mixed reviews. I heard some people really liked it, and other people too were just like, I don't get it. And then some people said like the first half's really boring, but the second half really picks up, like, a lot of mishy-mashy stuff about it.
Yeah. So. And see, like, I'm the type of person who, if it doesn't hook me in like the beginning, as most movies should, I guess, in my opinion, then I'm like, I tried really hard. My mom really wanted to watch it too, and it was on Prime for rent, so we sat down to give it a try, and just about halfway through I found myself just like on my phone more than than watching the movie. So she ended up stopping it because she had to go to bed, but then she ended up stopping it, and she's going to continue watching it. So I will get her opinion when she finishes it, see, you know, if she likes it at all. But she was thinking it was pretty interesting just to kind of see the storyline of Gucci, and obviously that Lady Gaga's character kind of took over the empire of it. Like she married into it for the success. Like she wanted to be that kind of rich, powerful, successful person, at least from the half that I saw. But didn't grab me.
Well, I also
but CODA,
heard
on the other hand,
right? I was gonna say also, I guess the family of Gucci did not like the film, so I don't take it or leave it.
I guess that, no offense to the movie, but I guess that's why it doesn't have that many Oscar nominations. Like, you know, just saying.
I don't know. I know a lot of people were excited, but I remember like they were like, "Oh, Adam!" I was just like, "This isn't doing it for me." But you know, what else? Yeah. You're excited for it. Cool beans. The
film is definitely centered around Gaga's character, so if you're a big Gaga fan, I'm sure it's great for lots of people. But yeah, story-wise, I had no real interest in it. But I did watch another film too on top of the Oscar films. This one's not an Oscar-nominated film. It's a Netflix original. It stars Ted Lasso's Jason Sudeikis.
Damn.
I'm wearing my Ted Lasso shirt, so
I know. I had you when you're just like, I was like, what are you doing?
It's hard. It's a weird angle, so I'm like, see it.
See, it's how I feel all the time. And I'll be like, I want to wear a cool shirt, but it's like no one can really see my
No
cool
one can
shirt.
see it, right? Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring the camera lower. I don't know.
But yeah, Jason Sudeikis is in it. Wanda from WandaVision, so Elizabeth Olsen is also in it, and Ed Harris. And it's about
what's it called?
It's called Kodachrome.
Okay.
So yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's about Ed Harris is he's a really famous photographer, and he's dying of cancer, I think.
Ew.
And he wants to do he found 4 rolls of like photography film that he never got developed, and he wanted to do like one last hurrah before he kicks the bucket to like go get them developed. But the only problem is that the company that develops Kodachrome is about to stop like producing and developing that film. So he's only got a week to be able to like drive down to the place in the States where they develop it before they close it down forever. And so Jason Sudeikis is his son, and Elizabeth Olsen is his caretaker. So they end up like coming with him on this trip, and like obviously him and Jason Sudeikis' character don't have a very good like relationship together. So on the journey they kind of end up like mending their bond, and Jason Sudeikis and Elizabeth Olsen kind of end up like, you know, falling for each other and stuff. And actually it was a really sweet film. I really liked it.
Okay.
I recommend it for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, when you were like dying of cancer, I was like, no.
Yeah, I know that's the sad part, but the whole journey like through everything, and it's a really sweet film, and it's got some funny moments too, and some good music in it, and I liked it. It was enjoyable.
I'll add it to my ever-growing watch list that never seems to stop. Well, the only movie I watched new this week was Uncharted.
Yeah, me too. I saw it too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Wow. Well, this is excellent. Now we can both. How did you feel about the film overall?
I really liked it, actually.
Yeah.
It's obviously, I'm sure you'll have different opinions because you're more like well versed in the games than I am. I'm just like kind of a novice in the games compared to you. Like, I feel like you've played them longer than I have, and you have a little bit more knowledge about everything. But yeah, like I really enjoyed it. I love the adventure movies and stuff like that. I'd say Tom Holland wasn't my favorite as Nathan Drake, but I mean, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. But I want to hear your thoughts first, because I feel like I can like add on top from what you'll say. So let's see. I want to hear what you think about the movie.
Well, again, as speaking of the games, I mean, my knowledge is a little rusty. Like, literally, I was having the longest debate. I was like, did I play 3? I was like, did I make up the fact that maybe I've never played 3? I was like, no, I definitely played it. I own it. It was a very long internal debate inside myself. I was like, what the fuck's going on? But I mean, we've been talking about this forever. Like, I remember ever since I was playing the first game and first entry of the series, I'd always tell you, I'm like, oh, there was this cool sweeping camera shot. Like, it was so cool. So, like, the idea of it becoming a movie just made so much sense to me. I was like, of course, like, this makes so much sense. But when they announced Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, I was like, I mean, and to be fair, I think for Tom Holland, I'm not saying he's a bad actor or anything, but because he's such, like, right now we just know him as Spider-Man. So yeah, all the trailers I watched him in, I just was like, I just see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see Nathan Drake, I see Spider-Man.
Right. And there's one scene in the movie too where he's like, there's like a montage of him and he's like all ripped and trying to do like push-ups and stuff. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, you're still squeaky Peter Parker. This is so weird. Like, is that really your body? Or, you know?
No body shaming here. But I mean, I think near the end of the film, I was like, you know what? I'll give you some props. Because I think, especially near the end, you see little moments of, like, Drake. So I was like, okay. And I was trying to tell myself this was an origin story. So he's not the Nathan Drake we know. Because to be fair, the first game, you're just kind of thrown into it. Yeah. Like, you're kind of just thrown into his world. Like, he's already kind of the treasure hunter, a little bit on the skeptical side, untrustworthy and stuff, but he's still, you know, heart of gold kind of thing.
Scrappy and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and this film, you kind of see that's beginning to emerge, especially that scene where he was like, yeah, too bad Chloe's going to the wrong coordinates. And I was like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
I will still forever criticize Mark Wahlberg as Sully. To
me,
that is just, had made no sense to me. And even in the movie, I found it hard because there's these weird lines with him being old. He's like, my ankle hurts. And I was like, Marky Mark, I know for a fact you get up at like 4 a.m. and work out like 3 times a day.
Right?
Like, I don't think so. Or he's like, oh, I can't read without my glasses. And I'm like, I can't really believe it. And to be fair, again, this is, again, a little rusty. Haven't played the games in a while, but I really want to get back into playing them again. But, when him and Sully meet, like, Nathan is actually way younger. Like, he's definitely in preteen when he meets Sully. Okay.
So I guess before you continue, because I haven't played this far, I'm only on the second game. So does the third game involve a lot of, like, his past and stuff, or
a little bit, yeah. But again, this is
Okay.
where I'm like questioning if I played the game or not. But they do dive quite a bit into like like how he meets Sully and stuff, and how they
Okay.
kind of become a duo.
Okay.
But and they also, which is interesting because the fourth game, A Thief's End, I've only played so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily the parts I did play, like that's what they included in the movie. So I was like, oh cool, I haven't really missed out on much. So
Nice.
this works beautifully. So there is 2 end credit scenes. And so the one where it was like, oh, spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't watched it, and he's like, oh, my brother's still alive in this prison cell, that is canonical with the games.
Okay.
In fact, in the fourth game, you actually play the prison break where his brother escapes and they meet up to go on one big last treasure hunt together.
Oh, okay.
So they do pay like quite a bit of homage, and I think they do pick things and everything. Because even like that sequence out of the plane, I was like, I'm 100% positive that was from the third game, but in a desert, not in the ocean.
Oh, because they did show, like, at least I don't know if you saw it, like they did like a pre-show before they showed the movie at the theater, and they showed like it was the director talking and like where he got the inspiration and all this kind of stuff, and they did show like a side-by-side comparison of like that scene of him hanging off the boxes from the plane in the game, and then like what they did on the screen. So yeah, I guess it is, but yeah, you'd know better than me.
Well, especially because there's that fun cameo with Nolan North being like,
yeah,
he's like, about the car. Oh yeah, me too. Have a good day. I was like,
cute.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
there was a little Naughty Dog sticker. I was like, So I mean, they had some good Easter eggs and stuff, but I think that was really my only issue was like the dynamic between Nathan Drake and Sully.
Yeah,
and that's where I want to play the games again, because like maybe I'm wrong, but I never felt that their relationship was like that. But again, I also try to tell myself they're trying to do a prequel, so it's not going to be the same. But again, then I thought, I agree with my brother. He's never played the games, and he said he really enjoyed it. I think he put it best. He goes, it itched, it scratched my treasure hunting itch, and I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, totally. Well, and my mom enjoyed it too, and like I've kind of told her a little bit about the games, and just the fact that like she wanted to go see a movie that's based off a video game is like, and because she likes Indiana Jones and all the treasure hunter type stuff as well. So yeah, and she really enjoyed it. So obviously it's a good movie all around, whether you're a fan of the games or not. But I hope. Do you think they'll do, or do you know if there's talks of their doing?
Oh, they're
100%.
Nice. Like before I even saw the film, there was a tweet from somebody at Sony. I don't know what his position in the company is. I think he was partially in their movie department, and he even said like, congrats on the success of our Uncharted series. So they're definitely going to make more.
Ooh,
and
nice.
I would say going forward, like I really enjoyed this film, and I liked how they did pick the elements and stuff to make it like they had the heart of Uncharted, but they still had its own story. So I hope if they do make more movies that they do kind of do more adventures, like different adventures from the games. Like they don't have to be side by side. Like you said, with like if the two scenes are very similar, but like in a different location or whatever, like I'm totally fine with that. I just don't need a play-by-play from the games.
Yeah, you want to see the same characters, but like throw them into a different scenario or like expand on the stories and stuff, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I think really that was probably my hardest critique. I was like, I did not get, and again, maybe I'll go back. And to be fair, like Sullivan was always kind of like the schemer kind of character.
Yeah, he was kind of like the devil may care type guy, yeah.
But at the same time, like, and again, maybe it's just because they aged up Tom Holland, so they aged down Sully. But yeah, that was a little rough for me. And again, I agree with my brother. The old jokes then were very weird. Like if they were saying those jokes and it was like the guy Sully in the game, then I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like here, I'm like, this doesn't jive. Other than that, and weirdly, I wish there was more action. I could have done with some more action.
There was a lot of like not quieter, but like calmer scenes and stuff like that. Like I was, because I guess it's funny. I'm gonna compare it to National Treasure, because like when I think of National Treasure, like when you think of National Treasure, it's just like chase, and then like, oh, we've got a puzzle, we got to figure this out quick. We're running out of time. What do we need? Like it's all very like high action, like adrenaline and stuff like that. And same thing with like the Mummy series, like same sort of thing, right? Like it's just kind of like all quick pace, and that's what kind of, I don't know, makes it entertaining, I guess, is because you're like, oh, that's creative, like they gotta figure this puzzle out, oh, like cool, like that's such a neat looking puzzle. But this way they were just kind of like, okay, here we go, oh yeah, okay, that's the thing. And they're just, you know, it's just very like a, oh, we're just going on a hike kind of thing.
Right. I'm a little sad they also cut Antonio Banderas' character out.
Yeah,
would have loved to see
sure
more of
he
him.
would have been more, yeah, because he's such a like iconic person, right?
But to be fair, that is kind of like in true style with the games, how there is like, oh, this is the villain, but then they somehow die, and then it's like, nope, this is the baddie, kind of thing. So that kind of fits.
I did enjoy that. Still, like I was sad. I was like, oh man, like really, they cut him that short? But yeah, it still worked.
I was happy for that. I was like, good job, evil henchman girl. Yes, yes, kill him, do it, love it.
Yeah.
And again, speaking of game history, I guess she is also her character is in the games, but I totally blacked out. Again, maybe it was in the third game, but I still can't decide if I played it or not. Yes. But yeah, I would say out of any video game movie, I think this one's definitely the most successful. I personally think, because again, you don't have to play the games. It's easy to get into.
It definitely holds its own, and yeah, it could totally it totally leaves room for more movies, and you're invested enough to want to like see more about it, because it's fun. Yeah. So I feel like too, like you said, like just now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, you're not a fan of Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland's dynamic. Mark Wahlberg, maybe you said wasn't like your choice for Sully and stuff like that. But I guess if these guys are who they're sticking with, that can be kind of who the people who aren't a fan of the games and just really enjoy the movie series, they might, you know, be a fan of that. Because Mark Wahlberg's, how he was in that movie just is who Mark Wahlberg is. So I just feel like people who are a fan of Mark Wahlberg will really enjoy that, because like he's such a wisecracking, like sarcastic kind of dude. And so in some ways I guess Sully's that way, but yeah. I
mean, no hate to Marky Mark. Like, yeah. It just, I feel like they just didn't do as many, like, you're old jokes. They did a lot of, like, you have so many apps open. You're so old. Ha ha. We young kids. And I'm like, yeah. Bruh, they're treasure hunter. Who gives shit?
Right?
Although I did enjoy the cat thing. It's like, oh, I thought you were really sad. You need a companion. Yeah. I still argue that Guardians did that joke way better, but then they paid it off in the end where it's like, sorry, I had to get my little knapsack for my cat to come with us. I was like, all right.
That was funny.
All right, you win.
That was good, yeah. Well, and I'm curious too, actually, because I did listen to a podcast interview of Tom Holland. He was on Chris Hardwick's podcast, like back when the first Spider-Man movie came out. And even then, like on the podcast, he was talking about how he was casted for Uncharted. So clearly, like, he's been set to do this for a long time, but obviously, I'm assuming based off his contract, he had to finish the Spider-Man movies first before he could get to this. So I wonder if at the time, because when he first did Spider-Man Homecoming, he was just turning 21, I think.
Yeah.
So I think maybe at that time, they were kind of that his character, how they wrote him in Uncharted was what they were going age-wise by him then. And fast forward to how many years now it's been since Homecoming came out. He's much older, right?
That's true. Again, you work with what you got. Like, no, again, I'm not upset that it's like, that's not true to the games. Yeah. But, like, as long as, like I said, if they keep the heart of Uncharted but want to continue on with the series, like, more power to you. I think that's fantastic.
Totally. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I want to see more. I want to play the games again.
Right?
It's all good stuff over here.
Right. It's all good. But what's my thought? I don't remember. But yeah, you watched CODA. You liked it?
I loved it. Yes, it was really good. My dad ended up joining us watching it halfway through, and he said it was giving him anxiety to watch it just because, like, all the parts obviously where like the parents are trying to communicate through sign language with her, it's quiet, right? And so he was just like, he's like, it's just frustrating to watch because like I can't understand and I gotta read stuff and like it's quiet and everything. So he was just kind of like having a hard time just getting through it. And but
me and my family loved it.
Oh yeah,
so
totally.
I am sad to say it will not win Best Picture. It breaks my heart.
I honestly hope it does. I hope that some force in the universe turns things around this year and says, hey, people of the Oscars, we don't need another historical period piece as a Best Picture winner. Let's do one that's actually got a really heartfelt story. And
Well, did the SAG Awards? Yeah, I think the SAG Awards just happened, or SAG. Because I know CODA did win something. I think the father won an award.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because he's up for Best Supporting Actor. But I did Google because I was curious. Because I know the mom, because my mom recognized the mom in CODA, because I guess she's a very famous deaf actress.
Yeah, I was looking at her IMDb.
She's done quite a lot.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff for sure.
But I wasn't sure about the son and the dad. But they actually are both deaf actors as well.
Yep.
I wonder if it was going to be that situation where it's like we had a hearing actor play this part, and you're like,
yeah.
So I mean, like, kudos, like that's amazing and incredible. Obviously, representation is important
for sure. Yeah.
But I'm just depressed it's not gonna win now. Everyone did so good. It was such a good story. I was like,
we'll see. Only time will tell. But yes, all that matters is that we liked it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will get, obviously, as you said, if it's winning awards already, it will get the recognition it deserves.
Well, if it doesn't, I'll make a homemade Oscar and I'll just give them Oscars. Like, here you go. Love you.
Yeah, love you.
But man, during her performance at the school, where she starts signing for her parents, I was like,
oh, right.
I was really hoping she was going to do that at the school concert, but at the same time, I liked how they flipped it to show like what the perspective was for her family.
Just that whole bit from that part leading up, and like when she's sitting in the truck with her dad, and her dad like holds her throat to feel the vibration of her neck and stuff. I was like, oh my god.
And that's what I was curious about, because I would have thought, and maybe it was just for more I want to be like for the dramatics of it all, but I thought they would have actually heard the vibrations of the guitar and stuff at the school play, and maybe heard their voices reverb potentially. But then again, I have no idea.
I think you'd have to be really close to the speaker. Like you'd have to hold the speaker to really feel that. Being at that distance,
kind of like how the dad and the mom pull up and they're playing rap music. And he goes, "I love it. I love the bass. It makes my booty move."
Yeah,
fucking love it.
Right.
But yeah, oh god, 10 out of 10. Love the movie. Please
Very
win
good. Yes.
all the awards. I know you're not up for a lot, but please win all your awards.
Yes.
Please. Apparently, it actually, again, it's an adaptive screenplay, and it was based on a movie. The original movie was in French.
Oh.
And apparently it was on a farm. But they had changed it to be in Boston. I think partly because what is experience of the director, I think, and again another cast member. And apparently they got a lot of help from the guys that made Manchester by the Sea, and asked about their filming locations and stuff like that. So
cool.
Fun fact of the day.
Nice. That's awesome. Yes. Very, very good.
Very, very good. But I think it's probably time to wrap up for the day.
Yes. But all good movies, I think. I mean, other than House of Gucci, which just didn't really, strike my fancy, all good movies that we talked about today.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try to, I gotta watch some more Oscar. I mean, it is the first day of March, so, gotta keep on that train so we can make sure we watch them all before the Oscars.
Which ones are you planning to watch next? Like, I know you said you were gonna try to watch as many as you could, but because I watched the trailer for the Tragedy of Macbeth. I might have to watch that one myself because I don't think anybody else has interest in watching it.
I feel like I might be in the same boat. Like I'll be like, "Hey, parents, do you want to watch this?" And I'm sure they'll be like,
just based off the trailer, like, yeah.
I'll just be like, ugh. I know my mom really wants to watch Belfast.
Yeah.
So we might rent that. Actually, you know what? This week, West Side Story is going to be up on Disney Plus, so we might try to hammer that one out.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I'll probably do that too. I still need to watch Power of the Dog.
Good luck to you.
I'm gonna try. It's hard because I've been
Alley.
watching 1883, which is like the origin story of that Yellowstone show that's been on.
I was wondering what the hippity hop was about.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you're not a big fan of westerns and stuff like that, it might not be something you're into, but man, it was really well done. Like, such a good story all the way through. It's only 10 episodes, but it's very cinematic and really good, like, storyline through all the characters, and it's just like the journey of this family and the people they meet along the way on their journey through the Oregon Trail.
Ooh.
And what it was like back then, like surviving the Old West. And
yeah, that game's
right?
hard.
Yeah,
that game was hard.
But it was just insane to see, like, all of the stuff. Like, you would think, like, oh, you know, taking the wagon along the Oregon Trail. But like, most of the stuff that, like, some of the people died from were just like the most simplest things. Like, some of them didn't know how to swim, so they drowned, and like
that's what
happens. Like,
that's what happens in the game. You flip a car and you're like, oops, I got a snake bite. Do you got medicine? Oops, you're dead.
Yeah, right. Oh,
notoriously hard, because surprise, being on the Oregon Trail was hard.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm nervous to watch Power of the Dog, because 1883 has set the bar really high for me. So I don't know if I'm gonna like Power of the Dog as much. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Was it the other one? Oh, Drive My Car actually has some movie showtimes now.
Oh, cool.
In one theater in my fucking city. And then Nightmare Alley is not being shown in theaters now.
And I don't see it anywhere on streaming services either, too.
I'm like, well, I guess I'll get fucked.
Yeah. That'll be one you'll have to watch, I guess, later, so.
Maybe, but we'll see. Again, we're trying real hard. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it all goes. So continue to watch and subscribe, like, and do those things, and watch our dirty. And just talk about other movies, obviously, because we talk about other stuff as well. Not exclusive. But yeah, watch all the content, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye,
Bye.
Cinema Peeps.
Monkey.
Monkey.